Hello everybody and welcome back to Red Eagle Politics. Make sure you guys like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So we have kind of a slow news day today, but we still have more polling, which I think is paramount that we analyze because we have polls out of polling firms that typically have a left-leaning slant or tend to be relatively accurate. And we have polls out of pretty much every remotely competitive state. And what happened in these polls? Donald Trump is leading. He's up in Georgia. He leads Biden by 4. You add RFK Jr. to the mix, he leads by 5, which is absolutely astounding because he's at 50%. I mean, that's absolutely huge. If you're at 50%, it's kind of hard to go below 50%. And Biden is just hated that much to the point where Trump is doing well in a state like Georgia, a state that Republicans thought a couple of years ago that they might never win again for a very, very long time because it's changing. You see that there, but still Biden struggling in the Sun Belt, struggling to energize black voters. His approval rating with them is in the 60s. Now, he probably still gets in the mid to high 80s percentage-wise. You know, maybe it'd be a little bit lower among like young black men, for example, but still, turnout matters. And when your approval rating is that low, typically you're not going to see this Obama-level enthusiasm you saw for Obama in 2012 or even Biden in 2020 in a place like Georgia. So Donald Trump will instantly benefit from that just based off of that fact alone. And also Biden's record is so bad, even the suburbs are not going to come out for him at the same level that they may have come out for him if his administration was going well, or that they came out against Donald Trump, the evil orange man, in 2020. So you're looking at that. And also North Carolina. Marist in North Carolina typically has underestimated Republicans, especially early on. And go back to even 2022 in their Senate race. They were the poll that kept having it, in dead heat. Even Beasley was leading against Ted Budd, you name it. But still, Donald Trump at 50% in North Carolina, he's winning it by 3. That's absolutely huge. And if he's winning North Carolina by 3, he's winning Georgia by a decent amount, then he's probably, doing a little bit better across the board, if I have to be completely honest. He does the same margin if RFK Jr. is in the mix. RFK Jr. is not playing spoiler, even if he does manage to get on the ballot. But even if he doesn't, Trump is at 51% in both of these key states. That's absolutely huge. It means Trump is likely going out there and he's getting 251 electoral votes out of the gate. So now you got to bring home a Pennsylvania or a combination of the remaining swing states that would allow Donald Trump to get over the hump, that would allow him to crack 270. Because when you look at the electoral map, there's a very narrow path for Biden. He has to have basically everything go his way. He needs to sweep the board, especially he needs to sweep Michigan, Arizona, and Pennsylvania. And he's not leading the polls in really any one of these swing states. So he's banking on the tides turning. He's banking on his war chest bailing him out. Will that exactly matter? I don't exactly know. Now, they will cope and they will say, but 2022, the polls overestimated Republicans. Let me know down below if you guys want my video on why the midterms likely will not be an indicator for 2024 regarding the polls, regarding certain underperformances, regarding the Trump effect, because I've done videos on the midterms after they happen for sure, but I'd like to hear a little bit more if you guys would like a further in-depth explanation, because I feel like some people still have PTSD and they're unwilling to say, oh, Trump can win despite what the polls are saying. It's funny because even if you put the polling error for some of these states, Donald Trump still wins because that's how commanding his current lead is in the polls right now. And yeah, things can change. We still have 7.5 months, but we've seen over the past 7.5 months, Donald Trump expand his lead or even take the lead and grow his lead in a lot of these places, despite the fact that he's been arrested. He had a mugshot. It actually worked out in his favor. And then we have polls out of Emerson, tend to be a little bit more Republican friendly, but still they have been accurate. and they were the most accurate pollster in the recent Ohio Senate primary. In fact, they still underestimated Bernie Moreno by quite a bit, but still, you look at this Georgia, Donald Trump leads by 4 points in Georgia. He leads by 4 points in Pennsylvania. If he wins both of these states, nothing else matters because, he's not going to lose North Carolina. He's not going to lose Texas or Ohio or Iowa. If he wins just Georgia and Pennsylvania, he's the next president. So if you even apply a 3 to 4 point polling error with these polls, Donald Trump would win the election if it were today. Obviously, make no mistake about it. Wisconsin, he's up by 4. He'd like to have Wisconsin. Still, you only need these 2 to win. Same thing goes for Arizona. He leads by 4, the same margin in all of these states, which obviously it's unusual you see that, but these states were all pretty much in line with each other in the past election cycle, so it's very possible Trump could be leading them all by a similar margin. Nevada, he leads by 2 points according to Emerson, and this is with leaners. If you take out leaners, the results are a little different, but not by much. Not by much. Trump still leads all the same polls. Nevada, he's up by 2. Michigan, he leads by the skin of his teeth, less than 1 point. And I don't think you're going to see 100% of the electorate go for Trump or Biden because you will have a third-party portion. But when they pull the third-party portion, Donald Trump usually does better. But the fact of the matter is he's leading in every single swing state that there is. Georgia, Arizona, Nevada, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin. He's leading nationally by 2 percentage points, and there's some, variability within the polling. There are polls with Biden leading the popular vote by 2. There are polls with Trump leading it by 7 or 8. Personally, I think the popular vote's going to be close to even when it's all said and done, but still, usually that means that Republicans are winning. If Republicans are losing the popular vote by over 3, it still could be a close election as well. The swing states matter more than the popular vote. The popular vote is like saying, well, I got more yards than the other team, but does that mean that you have enough points on the board? Not necessarily. It's like, I had more runs in the World Series, but I lost because, the games that actually mattered, you lost. It's the same concept. And Donald Trump is still in a good position. He's never played with a lead, which is interesting because, you got to protect the lead and you still got to act like you're behind. That's how you win. But Biden is so unpopular. His favorability rating, this isn't even his job approval, which is 40%, below 40% in a lot of polls. Favorability rating, they try to pass him off. Oh, he's lovable old Joe. Well, lovable old Joe is down by 15 points in his favorable rating. It's abysmal. I don't think they show the graph over time here for this, but you look at Donald Trump, and yeah, he's down. He's polarizing, but he's still higher than Biden. He's about 3 to 4 points more popular on net than Biden, which was the opposite in 2016 when Trump won. Trump was more unpopular than Hillary Clinton. He had a 37% favorable. Hillary had a 42%. Which was still low, but, Donald Trump won because he won the voters that were dissatisfied by both. And when you look at the voters that don't like either candidate, whose job do they approve of more? Biden's term or Trump's term? Because job approval is the number one indicator in terms of presidents getting reelected, one could say. Biden's in the low 40s. Donald Trump was in the mid to high 40s, probably around 45, 46% in 2020. But when you ask people, did you approve of the job Trump did as president? He is up big in terms of those numbers. So according to every metric, he is the favorite. Make no mistake about it. The one thing that they will say is Donald Trump is going to be outspent. But does that matter past a certain point? Everybody's made up their mind. Trump gets all this free advertising. Even when they come out and attack him, it's still free advertising. Oh, he said the bloodbath comment. Well, people are going to listen to that, and they're going to be like, well, no, he didn't call for a bloodbath. He just said that this election's important, and if he doesn't win for the economy, it's going to be a complete and total disaster, which is a term, that people have used over the years to refer to economic disasters. And people look at this and they're saying, hey, wait a minute. Donald Trump is right. The economy was better under Trump, and his numbers go up. The recent poll out of Selzer, he leads by 7. Grinnell Selzer is a very, very accurate pollster, at least in Iowa. In terms of it nationally, there are questions there, but that poll usually had him down by a lot leading up to 2020. So the fact that even the pollsters that have left leans and even the polls that were more accurate than not in 2022 are showing Trump beating Biden shows that there's a lot to do because, yeah, Biden does have money, but Hillary also had a lot of money. She outspent Trump 3-1. They said that Donald Trump was going to lose because of that fact alone. Did it make a dent at the end of the day? No, not necessarily, because when you're that unpopular, it's very unlikely that you're able to spend your way to popularity. And an off-year election or a midterm year or a special election, money matters quite a bit, and that's why Republicans ended up falling short in a lot of places in 2022. But when it comes down to the presidency, it's a little bit different, and it's not like Biden has as much money as he had in 2020. It's not like his cash advantage is as ridiculous as people say it is, but it is true that they're trying to, interfere in the election through the legal system and try to drain Trump of his resources because they know that it's going to possibly give them a leg up, but still, it hasn't moved the needle yet. That's a 2-point differential. Back in the day, you look at the polls on March 21st, 2020. Joe Biden led Donald Trump by 7.4 percentage points. That's a near 10-point differential in favor of Donald Trump, what we're seeing now compared to what we were seeing in 2020. So yeah, there are a lot of things that could potentially change between now and November. But still, what exactly is going to change? I mean, it's not like the economy's getting better in the eyes of a lot of people, despite the fact that technically you are seeing certain metrics improve. But when you delve a little bit beneath the surface, things are not going well for a lot of people in this country. The border is a total disaster. And that's 100% Biden's responsibility, and everybody knows it, regardless of how much they're going to cope. Foreign affairs are a disaster. Everything is a total and complete disaster under this administration, to the point where they really don't have a whole lot of winning issues, and they're trying to run a campaign on Orange Man bad. I don't know if that's going to be enough to cut it when the Orange Man is actually leading the polls right here, right now. And they've been running with this Orange Man bad message for almost 9 consecutive years. Eventually something's got to give. It's falling on deaf ears as Donald Trump expands his lead and puts himself in a very, very good position to go out there and take the 2024 presidential election, while these people come across like unhinged fearmongers, because that's exactly what they've been doing. But has it worked for them? No. Will it work for them? Probably not. Things can change, but we'll see. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Like this video down below, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media. The links are all in the description down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Red Eagle, out.